Hello, everybody. Welcome to a sort of late Sunday fun day, but hey, coronavirus. Real quick update before I even get into any of the movie that Megan and me saw. And unfortunately, Megan is not here to give her opinions on whenever I told y'all originally that I thought we were not going to be able to see Bloodshot, or I thought she wasn't gonna be able to go with us. She actually was able to go with me to go see the movie. It's just we had no time afterwards to be able to do a proper review. Life gets in the way. But real quick, so to talk about the giant elephant in the room and coronavirus. Okay, so it's not that I know anybody that has coronavirus, or I know people that are sick from it, or anything like that, and it's not that I'm trying to pay respect. But those who do actually follow movies like I do, and more importantly, are always looking forward to the new movie that's coming out this weekend, regardless if it's a piece of shit or if it's a good movie, probably has realized a startlingly bad thing that's about to happen within the next 3 weeks at least. There are no major movie releases within the next at least 2 weeks, probably for at least, I would say, a month. I wouldn't be too surprised if more movies in April begin getting pushed. For instance, A Quiet Place Part 2 is not coming out next week. Mulan has been completely shelved right now and is not coming out for the foreseeable future. Is what it's just pretty much a hiatus. It's probably going to come out later this year. And of course, New Mutants has also been shelved. There is right now the only movie that is getting a major theatrical release right now is Lovebirds, and is all I can say about that. But more importantly, where I live currently, they have issued a massive restriction on places you can go. The only places you can go pretty much are retail stores, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my brain. Grocery stores will at least make some sense right there, and work, if your work is currently open. Entertainment such as arcades, which unfortunately was really sad because it actually was one I was really wanting to go to soon. Movie theaters, and most restaurants that are sit down you cannot go to. As far as I know, like only thing that's allowed is like to go. Like even our Starbucks, everywhere it's either to go or you don't get Starbucks. And it's like, whoa, holy shit. I'm not going to get into the entire debate about any of that, of whether it's an appropriate response or or if it's an overdone response or anything like that. I don't care too much to get into that kind of politicizing or talking about whether or not containment of a admittedly very lethal virus is needed for this case. What I am going to say is the fact that it sucks and the fact that it's affecting Sunday Funday. Now, there's still going to be new Sunday Fundays for the foreseeable future. For, in fact, next week there's going to be a new one. Just the thing is, you're not going to get Sunday Fundays similar to like you would, like A Quiet Place Part 2 was supposed to be a big Sunday Funday that was supposed to be next week. I was really looking forward to this. I really am enjoying the trailers. I'm like, I love the first one. Can't wait to get into the world again. Unfortunately, no. So, what Megan and me are going to do is we are going to sit down and watch newish movies. Thankfully, the entertainment industry is pivoting quite well in the fact that they are giving us movies that have maybe been released earlier, and they're actually getting a early release on streaming, or you can rent them and stream it that way. Such as we just saw that The Grudge is available to be streamed already. It's like, oh, interesting. I didn't even think it was on DVD yet or anything. And also Guns Akimbo is available right now. And what we're going to do is for the next 3 weeks, it's pretty much going to be surprise Sunday Fundays. You're going to at least get one a week, and we are going to watch something probably streaming wise. And if there's a few Netflix movies that we're actually really interested in watching, I was like, oh, I've been wanting to watch that, and we'll actually be able to give you our opinions on it a little bit sooner than we normally can, simply because of the fact that always what determines things is usually the theater first. Not because the theater is better than Netflix or anything like that, but just that it's a whole different experience than watching something at home. Because if something you pay for in terms of going to a theater is a piece of shit, I'm going to want to tell you to avoid that. Comes to Netflix movies, I tend to sometimes be a little bit more lenient in certain regards. And also, I tend to also not hold them, no offense, as highly, simply because they usually are kind of shittier. No offense. It's just because they still haven't always picked that perfect balance. For every The Dirt that you get, and also Altered Carbon, great Netflix movies and series, you get Cloverfield Paradox and Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. So, But hey, that is simply the update on Sunday Funday's current state of being. Like I said, you're still going to get Sunday Fundays. You're going to have something to watch and be able to laugh at or agree, disagree, and give opinions on when it comes to reviews. But for the last Theater Sunday Funday, for at least, I would say, 3 weeks, so maybe it might be, in fact, a month, at the very least, Megan and me decided to actually sit down and watch Bloodshot.
That is absolutely fantastic.
I feel like I just heard this. Are they playing this on repeat?
So, Bloodshot. Real quick to talk about Bloodshot, I need to talk about my experience with the comics, which is nothing. I know nothing about the comics except for what I read up on Wikipedia after I watched the book. Because I was like, okay, does this follow the comics really well? As far as I can tell, no, it doesn't follow the comics at all. The character doesn't even have the same name. And hell, he's never even referred to as Bloodshot. It's just the Bloodshot program. It's like, ugh. And right there, that began setting off red flags. It's not because I was like, oh, it has to stay true to the comics or anything like that. Captain Marvel's origins are very different from her original origins. Captain America's origin story is slightly tweaked a little bit, to put it nicely. Thor's origins fit within the MCU, but don't follow the actual Marvel continuity exactly. And I'm okay with that. I don't think that we have to have this ironclad way on how an origin story has to be. It's fine to add tweaks as long as they don't detract from your central idea and also from the majority of the character. But you have to still provide a solid enough film to warrant the fact that you're really ignoring your source material. And Bloodshot fucking doesn't do that. So, real quickly to describe the plot of Bloodshot, it revolves around, I can't remember his name. It's Vin Diesel. I just can't remember his actor's name, or the character's name, actor's name. I know it's Vin Diesel, I just said it, I'm stupid. God, I can't remember the character that he plays. It's one of the biggest problems. Ray Garrison. It sounds 90 as shit, and making surprise, surprise, it was made in the night, or the original thing was made in the 90s. Though again, it's not even the same character name. I don't know why they did this, but neither here nor there. But Ray Garrison is a soldier who always gets his man, I guess. I don't know. And he ends up dying because this guy decides to kill his wife, who dances to Psycho Killer. It's kind of one of the goofier parts. It's like, okay, well, this is somewhat interesting. I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And he ends up killing Ray's wife in front of him, and Ray's full of vengeance and gurg. And then the guy shoots and kills him. And then Ray wakes up. And it turns out that he has actually been reborn, but by this one doctor, Dr. Emil Harting, I believe is how you pronounce it. I have it on IMDb right here. Of course, it's not even scrolling right now. Yeah, Dr. Emil Harting, played by, of course, progenial bad guy Pearce. I think I didn't even use that word right. But yeah, Guy Pearce is always the bad guy, and it's like, okay, he's the bad guy. Thanks for showing me Guy Pearce. And then we get introduced to this team of augmented soldiers. One lady, her name is Katie because she has a vagina. She's semi-important. Sam Hugan is in this. I don't even remember his character's name. And he is the totally not foreign guy who is trying to play an American. And he's just got this... Pretty much the best way to say it, he's just a raging asshole just because. And then there's another guy who I can honestly not tell you his fucking name to save my life. I think it's supposed to be... God. I think it's Barris. I don't know. I'm looking through the characters here and I'm like, I don't know. No, it wasn't Barris. That is honestly the thing. I can't even tell you this guy's name. And it's like... all I know is that he doesn't have sight, but instead he has cameras. Like, oh, this allows him to be able to see, but they're chest level, so he's not going to be able to tell if he's tall enough for things. Y'all do realize this is kind of like massive issue you've done, right? I don't know, it's a weird thing. But yeah, so the big deal is that Sam Hugan has had his legs replaced because they got blown off. Katie, she's had her respiratory system replaced by this like air filter thing. And it sounds kind of hokey, but okay, it might be kind of fun. But then it turns out that Ray gets triggered by hearing Psycho Killer playing, and then all of a sudden he goes after the guy who killed his wife, because it turns out Ray's also full of nanites or nanobots, I think is what they call them. It's weird. It's like, we know what nanites are. It's like, it's one of these like, this is just a sci-fi trope. It's like, everybody knows about nanobots and nanites and stuff like that, and it calls it this weird name that doesn't fit with what we know that they would be called. And it's like, just call them what they are, and they even kind of refer, well, it's this and this. It's like, well, just call them that. Don't give them this weird fucking name that doesn't really fit them. But yeah, supposedly he's full of these, and he's part of the Bloodshot program. Real clever there. Why it's called Bloodshot, I don't know. But yeah, he is full of rage after hearing Psycho Killer and uses his nanites to be able to hack into this system and pull up files on so-and-so, on the guy who killed his wife, and hunts him down. But it does seem like, oh, this guy's really doesn't know what's going on. He does seem confused about things. And there's talk of, during the action sequence, like, oh, well, they finally figured out how to make the nanobots or something like that. He kind of mentions our dudes like, oh, they figured out how to make it work and whatever. And it's like, okay, so obviously there's a lot more to it. And Ray is supposed to be a badass in this whole sequence or anything like that. Now, mind you, I am warp speeding through this fucking plot, because if I could tell you one thing, this movie drags its fucking heels to get this story really started. Like, this happens in maybe the first 35, maybe 40 minutes that we finally get like this bigger action sequence. And even then, it's like, it's just been dragging its heels about getting started. And I get it. It's trying to introduce characters, but it's doing it in such a basic way. It's doing it in such the simplistic, like, this is late 90s, early 2000s, shitty straight to video, almost like, hey, we have a comic book movie that we're going to do, but we're spending like $20 million on it, so we're just going to make it and shit it out and throw it on DVD so that way we keep the rights for a little longer. It feels exactly like that, because it's not very much about the character. It seems to ignore entire aspects of the character. And on top of everything, dear God, this movie is just pretentiously stupid, and certain spots are just so woefully dumb. And on top of it, like I even talked about with Sam Hugan, he is very obviously he's Scottish. If you've seen him, he's on Outlander. That's where his biggest role, which y'all probably know him from. But he is very Scottish, and he very much does not know how to do an American accent. It's constantly this like shift between different accents he's doing. It's like he wants to do almost a Southern accent, tries to do like a sort of California accent, sort of swings into Southern again, goes a little up to the north for a bit, and it's like, oh, fuck is your accent going? It's like, I get it. Your native tongue is not American in all essence. You have an accent, sir. So why didn't we just make this guy a Scot? It's so weird that they decided to make him a Navy SEAL. It's like, hey, y'all do realize, like, the British have their own, like, special forces and everything. You could have just done that and kept him with that, and, you know, type of speech. It's a weird choice on their part. But not only that, but everybody in this movie has just these weird emotional things, it feels like. Like Vin Diesel, I know people love Vin Diesel. Dear God, he has 2 modes throughout this entire movie, and it's his normal 2 modes. It's either, I'm so gruff, look at me, I'm Groot. And it's just, there's not a lot of emotion behind it. It's just like, I'm trying to be stoic, but it kind of comes off as kind of stupid. And just kind of like, eek, look at me, I beat you up, boo, 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 boo. And it's just, it's not intimidative. Like, Rock can almost pull off the very kind of like the slower kind of speech and more gravelly or talking. Vin Diesel can't do that anymore. One, because that's all we've seen him do for the past 10 years, it feels like, with movies. Like, unless he's doing voiceover, everything he does is 1/4 mile on the road or time. And it's just, it's gravelly bullshit you don't fucking care for. And he just sounds bored a lot of times. And he's just like, he can't even pull off, like, suave. He can't pull off debonair. He can't pull off, like, trying to crack a joke. Everything is this, like, gravelly bullshit that just feels so fake. And that's just the biggest sin the entire time. Like, this entire thing feels fake. It feels like a guy who's putting a minimal amount of effort. I got paid $10 million. I'm gonna do this. It's like the Bruce Willis fucking syndrome. Those who don't know, Bruce Willis will just phone in about every performance he does in nowadays. Like, very rarely does he actually seem to give a shit. But Vin Diesel does have a second motion here. And it's shouting his lines! It's this thing he's done his entire career, and it still is just as goofy as all get out. I don't know why Vin Diesel has this thing that he has to put emphasis, I shall shout it. It's so weird every time he does it because it's just a random shout. It would be like if Christopher Walken, that was his shtick. You know, like Christopher Walken, instead of being, you know, kind of awkward, he just shouted for no reason. It's so wacky, and it destroys any scene, because it's like, why is he shouting all of a sudden? So we also need to talk about Katie. I do not know how to pronounce the actress's her actual name, but I will tell you, she is bored. She does not give a shit throughout this entire movie. She has 0 charisma. And I think there's supposed to be kind of a thing going on between her and Vin Diesel's character, but they have as much chemistry as water and oil. They don't mix real well. They don't really come together on screen. And whenever they're talking, it's like they're both trying to bore each other to death. Well, I one time ate a Cheeto. I ate 2 Cheetos. Well, I can gravel to Cheetos. I can pretend to be bored about Cheetos. It's just, like, there's one time, like, they have this thing where they're just kind of sort of talking about this Navy SEAL medal thing, and I'm like, who are these people right now? I've been given their names, I've been given what they used to do. I cannot tell you anything about them emotionally. Katie seems at best bored as all hell about everything, and Vin Diesel seems mildly curious about it. And then on top of everything, you have Guy Pearce being Guy Pearce. I love Guy Pearce. He is a fantastic character actor. And here, he's supposed to be pretty much a guy who's pretending to be a good guy, but is actually a bad guy. Pardon me. Because it turns out the big whole reveal of the entire thing is that actually Guy Pearce was using it to kill off the guys who knew about the Bloodshot program so they couldn't get control and things. And it's, you learn that hey, Ray Garrison's been dead for a while and all this. And literally it's just, you only learn about this thanks to this one guy, I want to say his name is Alfred or Andrew Wiggins. I know his last name is Wiggins, is all I know. Wilford Wiggins. Sorry, I was so close. But he's supposed to like be this exposition dump, and when I say exposition dump, literally spells out the entire plot of the entire movie. And this is after the hour mark. It finally just has a. It's like here's the whole plot. It's like deal with it. It's like okay. And it's this guy, Wilford Wiggins. I don't know where he's been before. I think he's actually supposed to be British. He might not legitimately be British. I don't know. The accent doesn't sell me real well. I have to look him up again because fuck me. Because, you know, nothing wants to actually hold on my phone. It's like, nope, you didn't look up anything. But I will say, Wilford Wiggins, I'll just call him Wiggins because it's constantly ways being referred to throughout the entire movie. The best thing I can say about him is he is so over the top and trying to actually portray emotions to the point to where he's not good. Don't get me wrong. Okay, no, I don't believe he's actually British. No, he's American. He's just putting on his like faux British accent. I'll give him this much. He at least is trying to do like a Cockney accent. So I'm like, okay, his Cockney's not the worst thing ever. But it really doesn't sound... It's as good as Sam Hugin's American accent. Well, I'd say a little bit better, because at least he sticks to Cockney pretty well. But yeah, so Wiggins just pretty much comes up out of nowhere, and he's just this overly excitable guy, and it feels like they wanted this to suddenly become a Marvel movie, because they're like, oh, well, we're going to have jokes now out of nowhere. Even though this movie's been fairly serious, so serious it's been very one note, with the exception of like one scene I genuinely just love because it's so stupid, where Ray's chasing down this one guy and he for some reason used a flour truck, because flour, to like stop him and everything. And it's also one of the more ridiculous things. Instead of just a truck is parked there or its trailers in the way or anything like that, he just like uses like this, you see his like CGI truck causes this massive fucking pile up with his Jeep, and it's like, well, that was over the fucking top for no reason. But with this one like Jeep covered in flour, how he's trying to find the guy, he like draws like eye holes and goes right up to it, and it's like this. I'm like, alright, that makes me laugh because it's just so stupid. But it's one of those where they're like, I'm pretty sure when they made that particular scene, they're like, oh, yeah, this is going to get him rolling because this is hilarious. It's like, it's hilarious because it's dumb. But you have this like uber like ultra violent sequence beforehand. I'm just mowing down these guys, which is fine. I mean, I get that's the character. He just kills, and it's fine. He's a soldier. He never makes compunction against killing or anything. So I wouldn't mind this a lot less than I mind any of the times when I have Batman constantly killing. But like I said, that's the only real joke before they have Wiggins come in, where he's just mile a minute trying to get these like little quips in and constantly make little like jokes and shit like that. But if, like I said, it feels like they are attempting to try and be a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, but they don't really quite understand how to do any of that. So they're like, just throw shit at the walls. If we make random jokes and references, they'll fucking get it finally, right? No. It's just, he's really annoying is what he is. And that's the best thing I can say about him. His character or pretty much Wiggins' whole character trait is the fact he is an excitable bunny rabbit who has snorted way too much cocaine and will not shut the fuck up. It's kind of, it borders on just being utterly just fucking annoying. Like, there's a point where I was like, I really wish you'd shut up. And thankfully they did finally stopped having him on so much. But the whole movie boils down to eventually Ray gets his memory back and somehow he gets EMP'd away, and after Wiggins' expedition dumps him, he learns that, the obviously bad Guy Pearce is a bad guy. Who'd have fucking thunk it? It's one of those, like, Guy Pearce has been a good guy in, like, all 2 movies I've seen him in that I can think of. The rest of the movies, he's either been a slimeball or the bad guy, the main bad guy. It's like, there's no middle ground with Guy Pearce. We don't have to sit here and try and pretend. But yeah, so the other thing I need to talk about before I get into like the end sequence, because the end sequence is just its own mess of things, and that is 2 things. First off, the CGI in this movie. I get it. This movie did not have a massive budget, but it's a decent budget for a good action movie. But it's only like about $40 some odd million. It's not a huge budget, but fuck does it show. There's times when they decide, we're gonna use a lot of CGI. One, why? If your budget's not that big, don't fucking use CGI that much. Use practical if you can help it. Because hell, shitty practical, at least it's cheaper. No, actually, cheap CGI is better than cheap practical, technically. But still, it's like, when it's like, what's the point of making the movie if you're just not gonna give a fuck? But yeah, so the CGI in this movie is just, it's atrocious. Like, there is times when it just looks really, really cheap. Like, to the point to where it's like, okay, I have seen asylum movies that have done better CGI than this. It looks like sometimes it clips through certain things where it really shouldn't be clipping through it, because I can't understand how certain things work. There's very few times it looks the least bit convincing, and always it has to be like this mess of different like grays and all that, because not to get it, or actually this kind of goes into the second issue, but also technically it brings up a third issue. This movie's PG-13. Now, I know that the original or the comics are a little on the violent side. And I know some people may think, rated R comics don't sell, or rated R comic book movies don't sell. You have a movie literally called Bloodshot, and there is 0 blood in the entire film. How in the fuck do you expect anybody to give a shit about that? And not only that, but the originals are fairly violent. They're not like super uber violent like sometimes how Spawn could get or anything like that. But there is blood. There is shooting. There is people dying. Here, the editing is just so god fucking awful, because you can tell that this was probably supposed to be a rated R film, because they're like, people will get shot and it's like a quick edit. It's like fucking Resident Evil final chapter, where it's just so choppy. It's jarring to sit there and watch any scene. No scene seems to want to last longer than half a second. It's like, oh my god, my eyes are starting to hurt from just sitting here blinking with it. And it's like, stop it, movie. Can you just sit on a scene for a second or two? So action sequences are this like constant cut. And it's like, stop. Just slow the fuck down. It's like, you don't have to throw 4 billion edits in a scene that lasts 5 minutes. And because that's like, there's a few times where they try to do like slow down, like obviously like slow motion, but it's still, the only time it's thankful is like, okay, the action sort of slowing down. But then when it speeds up or wants to show a different thing, it's just cut. It's like, stop. You're not understanding what you're doing. Because also it destroys any semblance of being able to understand what the fuck is happening in this sequence. And it does that so many times. Like, there is a chase sequence, and I, honest to God, cannot follow the damn thing. Like, the whole time, I only know Megan, I'm like, can you follow me what's happening? Sam Hugan and the dude who has no eyes, except for on his chest, which is still the stupidest thing I've seen in a while. They're chasing down Vin Diesel, and the whole time it's just edit, cut. Like half a second of this, half a second of this, half a second of this. Movie, can you sit still for a second? I couldn't tell. Was Sam Heughan catching up to Vin Diesel? Was Vin Diesel pulling away? Who knows? The edits are so boom, right on top of each other to the point to where you're like, I don't get this. What are you trying to show me, movie? Because I can't follow the sequence. I can't follow the chase. It just looks like everything's just cutting away. And I'm like, well, he'll either catch him or he fucking won't. Ugh. Oh my gosh, movie, I swear. And then there's the final sequence where eventually Vin Diesel fights Sam Heughan. And after the chest-eyed dude fell off thanks to Sam Heughan's own, like, stupid thing. Because he's like, I told you to hang on. It's just weird. Like, he almost goes southern. And it also brings up two other things. First off, this movie is got some fucking ADR issues. Like, they're, like, near the end, there's a point where, oh, surprise, surprise, Vin Diesel and Katie live and they beat the bad guys. Whoopie-doo. I don't fucking care. I spoiled the movie. Whoa, Vin Diesel lives. Woo. But when they're getting together in this thing, they're gonna drive off into the sunset, and again, they just have no chemistry to each other, or they share nothing together. And it's like, okay, why the fuck do I care about these two characters really? And Vin Diesel is obviously, you hear him, he's saying something to her. It's like, I guess we'll just have to drive around until we find a place. But it's showing his face. And he ain't moving his lips at all. Like, not even close. And only that, but there's times whenever some things that are supposed to be said by Sam Heughan are totally being dubbed over by somebody else. Certain things being said by Katie are being said by somebody else. It just times when Guy Pearce, there's a person who's trying to impersonate him, who sometimes is good, sometimes fucking terrible. It's so jarring to sit here and watch the entire movie because the ADR is just so all over the place. Like, there's sometimes where clearly a character is not talking, their lips are not moving, but there is voice coming from them. And the guy who does Guy Pearce, like I said, he can sometimes get it, a lot of times doesn't, but he at least tries. The lady who does Katie is decent. It might be the same actress. Whoever did Vin Diesel cannot fucking do Vin Diesel. If it is actually Vin Diesel who did his own ADR, holy shit, man, can you not match your own tone throughout your entire movie when you're having to fucking do ADR? Jesus. And not only that, but the ADR is so piss poor in this that it sounds like it's coming from a different film. It sounds like poor dubbing in an anime film that had like a $3 budget. It's like, okay, if you cannot afford good ADR, don't do it. Like, for instance, if you follow the movie Logan, there's actually some moments of ADR. Like, in fact, there's the scene that everybody's always shown where Hugh Jackman is doing his ADR, where he's running through and showing where after he took the serum thing to help him, his healing factor stay up, and him running through the woods and everything and killing guys. Obviously hearing that, it's like, yeah, that wouldn't be, you wouldn't have heard his actual voice from when they were recording or when they were filming that particular scene, so they had him dub over so that way you could hear it. But they still mixed it to where it sounded like, oh, okay, so you can tell like that, or it makes it very much seem like, oh, this comes from him. Here, always it feels like it's coming from some other room. It's coming from obviously a sound booth. And it's like, can y'all not try? Can you not try to catch an ambiance of something? So that way it sounds like it's not coming out of a different sound booth or anything. It just doesn't work every time. And just, it feels like just like the laziest damn attempt at making a film I have ever seen. But also, I have to talk about Sam Heughan, because again, he has a lot of ADR, but more importantly, I do not know what in the absolute hell is going on with his character. He's like psychotically evil, and Why, I don't know. It's never explained. Like, he just hates Ray Garrison, but there's never an explanation why he doesn't like Ray. He just doesn't like him. So he's happy to want to kill him or happy to try and go after him or anything like that. And it's like, but why? Why would you? Why? And he's like this comically, like, twirly mustache evil guy. But unlike where some bad guys, like anything that, oh, what's his name? I went blank on it. Fuck. Mr. Smith. No, wrong. God, I can't remember his name. But yeah, where anytime he's a bad guy, he's actually kind of enjoyable because he does do some good over the top. Sam Hugin's over the top is also this, like, really stiff thing, and it's so weird. It's like a 12-year-old that doesn't really understand how to act. Probably does not help Sam Hugin's kind of a shitty actor, to put it lightly. He has no emotions in Outlander outside of slight concern. His look is always like he smelled a fart and he's pretty sure it came from him, but it might have came from Claire, so he's kind of, fart. And, oh God, this movie, it sucks ass so much. Because it just ends in the big, like, CGI fight sequence, and somehow there's no cops in the entire city that they're in or something. And it's weird that it, like, name checks a couple cities, of course, like London and Budapest at one point, but we don't know where this other city takes, that the main facility's in. It's like, well, where the fuck is it? Is it New York? Is it Los Angeles? Cleveland? Monaco? Where the hell is this place? I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's constant. It's that kind of weird laziness and that kind of weird stupidity that just baffles me throughout the entire time watching this movie. And it seems weird to say this. I almost would say go watch it. It's kind of hard to explain, but think about it this way. This is very much a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Batman, Robin. This is not a good movie. This is a piece of shit at its best of times. But it's a wonderful to watch train wreck. Like, there's nothing in this movie that fucking works worth the hell. Vin Diesel can't fucking act throughout this entire movie. He either sounds bored or he's screaming his lines for no fucking reason. CGI is not even passable half the time. It looks like something from the early 90s. Almost. Yeah, that bad. The plot is this basic, paper thin cookie cutter plot that you've seen in every other Vin Diesel sci-fi film. Hell, go watch Triple X if you want to see something that's at least somewhat intriguing. And Vin Diesel seems to have a little bit more emotion in his, a little bit more range in his emotions. Most of them are still shouty. But it's almost a glorious train wreck to sit there and watch. Like, I am kind of astonished that this kind of movie is still being made. I know we had movies like Cats get made recently, but it's weird to think that Hollywood still is shitting out turds this putrid and surprising that, and utterly astonished that nobody likes them. It's like, oh, this is bad? Well, yeah, you put no effort into this movie and it shows. It's so weird. It's like, y'all know there are probably fan-made movies about Bloodshot that are a million times better than this. One, they're shorter. Two, they actually have some heart to them. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, it's such a departure from the actual character. And I'm not going to say real and that's supposed to be the worst thing ever. But it's weird that it's like, it has nothing to do with the character. So why did we even name this Bloodshot? You could have called this anything else, and I don't think people are going to give a shit the fact that it is called Bloodshot, but it is weird that, again, we have another, like, non-DC, non-Marvel film that is an utter train wreck. We have not had any really super, fantastic non-DC, non-Marvel movies that have hit, or non-DC, non-Marvel comic book movies that have hit within the past few years that have been really good. There are probably a few I probably am missing. And I know there's always like that, oh, I didn't know that was based on a comic book or a graphic novel or anything like that. I'm pretty sure there's a couple. Like, I bet nobody knew that History of Violence is actually based on a graphic novel. I didn't know that till I read the back of the DVD. I'm like, based on a graphic novel? I'm like, oh, holy shit, it is. But yeah, it's weird that this brings me back to memories of, like, Spawn. And I like Spawn. I admit, there's sometimes it's terrible. The CGI, it's decent for the time. It's not really held up all that well. It's nowhere near as bad as, say, like, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. But again, that's also another movie. Like, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I actually still enjoy, even though it's kind of another piece of shit. It is a turd. True and true. True and through. But, I'm surprised that we still can't get something out a little bit better. Why can't we accomplish, this seemingly lofty goal of making a good comic book movie that's not based on, any superheroes from the DC or Marvel catalog? It's weird that we're still unable to figure out what the fuck to actually do here. And this is just proof that, hey, maybe we don't need a Spawn movie. I wouldn't mind it at the same time, but it's like, ooh, I don't think we need it. Hell, I don't think we need a Savage Dragon movie if this is what we're probably going to end up with. But yeah, it's hard not to still say that people shouldn't go see it. I mean, I don't think a lot of y'all are going to be able to go see it if you're lucky like I am. Where all theaters are going to be closed. I'm like, alright, cool, this movie's pretty much dying. Pretty much I sent this movie out to die. It's like, here, go out into the pasture. But it's rough still. Like, it feels like this movie needed another 3 years in post-production before it would actually start to look presentable. And that's kind of the scary part, is how just utterly dog shit this movie is. But hey, I guess I actually need to give a score for this film, and realistically, if I am being totally honest, even though I say the movie is watchable, it's an ugly train wreck. It's watchable, but you're not going to enjoy this. So, in terms of watchability, I give it a 6, 7 or so. Like, it's a watchable flick. On actual, quality of the film, it's a 1. It's a one movie that you're going to watch just because it's hard to turn your head away. It's like, ooh, they did that. Ooh, why did they do this? Why does that sound so bad? Why does this look like utter crap? Why did we decide to do this plot line? Why are we just copying every other sci-fi film of the past 20 years? Oh, this is a thing to sit through. Here's the best way to describe it. But hey, that's Bloodshot, and that's also what's going to be happening over the next few weeks. Not Bloodshot, but more importantly, talking about the films that Megan and me are going to give our opinions on that may not be the bigger films, but hey, it will be something to watch, and we'll let y'all know if it was enjoyable or not. But hey, until then, just stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see y'all next time. So, bye-bye, everybody.